use that, right? One technique to save a lot of money and time. And if you can use the shorter horizon forecast results, automatically it will get much better accuracy than long-term forecast. So if your partner, if your other departments, you can push them a little bit to use instead of 4 weeks forecast, convert to 2 weeks forecast, automatically, okay, you will save a lot of money. The steps in the forecast process. First, we have to determine the purpose. Well, it must be a variable of interest. We're not interested in something like what is the Kayla's final exam score. Most people are not interested, right? So then, it must be something you are interested in. It's deserved to invest a lot of money and energy to do that. Second step is the time horizon, like what we have mentioned, right? So for some like system level decision, it's long term. When we talk about location planning, capacity planning, okay, how many equipment we should purchase, that's what we talk about $1 million, or at least like $500,000, something like that. We can't use the forecast next week or even next month. It's always about very long-term forecast, next year, next 5 years, next 10 years. But on the other hand, for like inventory management, scheduling, right, weekly forecast should be fine. So that is what you should focus on. Okay, after we know what is the long-term, short-term, mid-term forecast, the third step is to obtain, clean, and analyze appropriate data. Well, you guys learn a little bit about data analysis from, I think, 2019 Excel spreadsheet, right? Have you guys DSC 2019? Right? I remember.
Yes.
Forget. Okay. Recently, what is 2019? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what is Dr. Kang or some other professor teach you guys, but yeah, that's you probably have some experience. Well, we won't talk about this step in this class, but I want to share with you this step is probably one of the most time-consuming steps on forecast in reality. In our homework exam, okay, you spend 0 minutes on clean or obtain. You don't need to obtain, I give you the data, right? You don't need to clean. If I need to clean data, that means my data set is wrong. Analyze, well, maybe, yeah, that can cost a little bit, but not too much. But in the reality, let's talk about the real projects. I have mentioned to you guys, right? What is the length of typical projects I have done for consulting work? How long we have to begin to finish the projects usually? Anybody remember? 1 year. Exactly. And that's typical. We spend 1 year on these projects. Definitely follow the same step. Well, that step is universal. No matter it's a small project like our case study or the 2 projects we have done for Unilever, Kraft, Procter & Gamble. In this 1 year, usually we spend half a year on step 3, 6 months. Obtain, clean, and analyze appropriate data. Anybody can give me possible reasons why we spend such a long time on this step about data? Any thoughts?
Trends, so you can pick up trends.
Trends? Yeah, that definitely we want to find trend in the data sets. Very good. But the problem is why we spend so much time on that?
So it can be accurate, more accurate. The more data you have, the more accurate the results will be.
Definitely. But it's not always the more. I would say the cleaner of the raw data you have, the more accurate forecast results most likely you will have. Greens?
Well, you need data to support your hypothesis.
Yes, very good point. Well, you have to check your hypothesis, like assumptions,
Yeah.
whether you can use the model. That's really the data to support. If data sets are not enough. Okay, I think many of you is talking about we need the big data sets. Okay, that's good point. But I can tell you in reality, to get the big data sets one usually is not a problem. For when we talk about Procter & Gamble, Unilever is not a problem. They can give you a like 100 gigabytes data, no problem. But the problem is that after you receive this 100 gigabytes data, well, first technical parts, you still need to do a lot of technical stuff, sorting the data, cleaning the data, okay, replace the error in the data. That's definitely time consuming. But another thing is that, okay, even you receive a huge data set, 100 gigabytes, you have to communicate with them. every day what we did is, okay, new data, I guess, or just at the beginning of the project, they give you like 10 gigabytes, let's say, this is sample data. I have to check the data set to see, okay, anything obviously wrong. For example, when it's sales data, they have negative number. This is obviously wrong. Why sales can be negative, right? That's some error you can find, but you know already. But in the projects, you need to get the experience to find the error. But anyway, let's say if you find this negative number, what should you do? Sales data is negative for some item, some time, some week. Then what should you do? Negative. Just keep there?
No, you can call them or talk to them and find out why.
Definitely. You should communicate with them. Okay, find out why. That's pretty sure, 99.9% they are wrong. Well, I can't find any reason that's why it's negative for sales. But they can explain to you. Most likely, they say, we retrieved the wrong data. When we make the command to retrieve data, okay, totally wrong column to retrieve and post in the sales. Well, definitely should redo it. Sometimes they will say, that's like system error, you just replace all negative to 0. This is not the perfect result, we know that, but if that's whatever they can do. But generally speaking, you have to communicate with them, if not daily, weekly. Say, okay, I find 10 problems, could you explain one by one? They don't like that, because they hire us, then right, think about it, they pay us like almost $1 million to do the projects per year. They want you to do all the problems. But we have to push our clients or our manager back, because if they provide those clean data to us, we accept that, right? We say, don't want to bother you, are my boss, right? So you pay me such a high salary, I don't want to bother you, give me whatever, I do the job for you. What's coming the results? If you don't communicate with them, you accept their data, and then you make the forecast, what's coming the results? Good results or not so good results?
No result.
Yeah, this can be a horrible result. And finally, your payback. Well, your manager, your clients will be very angry after you. You can't say, I accept whatever you give to me. No, that's not the way it works, right? You have to communicate with them, sometimes push them. We push them pretty hard. Because you need to let your client, your manager know, okay, if you don't provide me the clean data as I require, you waste your time and money on me. Because every week, I can't move to the 4th step later. I just stuck here for several weeks, several months. Well, they do waste a lot of time or money. Because internally, you know that if you talk about that data, usually it's IT department. They are very good at retrieving data. But IT, sometimes are not familiar with supply chain operations data. Right? They are very good at the IT. Okay, they manage the data sets, or data sets has all kind of different data. You work in Amazon and tell you Amazon has whatever data you want to get. But most people don't know exactly what's the meaning of this column. So when you go there, they will say, we have so many data sets. What do you want? I don't know what do I want. I just tell you I need the sales data for this item, this location, this time period. That's what I want. All the thing is straightforward. They go to some data sets, retrieve the wrong data or data with some error. Many times they have to go to another database to find the correct data for you. So it's communication again and again, spend months. Definitely you have to do the hard work, clean the data, analyze to make sure, right? And so if they explain to you, okay, there's some problem you can't do. For example, negative. They told you that's the error. Okay, that's week we crash. Our database crashed. There are lots of error. You have to figure out. That's all they have, right? Simple ways that you replace this negative to 0. That's maybe the most perfect. We'll talk about better way to do that, like use the average, right? Last week and the next week's average to replace this obviously wrong data entry. But generally speaking, we spend a lot of time on this because, like our previous CFO, he talked with us. Okay, my previous company, the CFO is a PhD of mathematics of Princeton University. So you can see the background, definitely very, very good at those steps. He's a Russian guy. He just said, I can't mimic his accent, but it's garbage in, garbage out. That's 100% true. Or even we are company provide consulting, like we are beggars, right? If you are consulting company, you always beggars. Okay, give me some money. But we have to know, garbage in, garbage out. Well, if I give you garbage for forecasting, you are giving me the garbage back to me, right? Same thing for clients, for your manager. So you will have to work with them. Communication skill is very important here. I can't teach you guys, maybe some other class, but just remember that. Okay, small data set should be okay. But if we talk about a little bit large data set, don't have the assumption, okay, I trust you. You shouldn't trust the people give you data sets. You should have good communication channel with them. But you should double check, triple check so many times. Everybody on the same page. Okay, that's the good data. That's the best data we can get. Then move to step 4. Technical parts. Select the model. Well, that's what we are spending like 2 weeks on step 4 in this chapter. Okay, we'll talk about so many different models you can choose. Okay, for big company, usually what we did is that. So when we do the forecast for projects, we have a software because it's almost impossible to manually test different models for such a huge data set. Right? It's impossible. Time consuming is impossible. It must use some software, but software we develop. So it's the same idea. Okay, we have learned so many technical. Then you have some software, and then you can test different methods in the software, like a scenario, to see which method has the best forecasting results. Then we choose the best, right? The fifth step, make a forecast. Okay, get the results. And then after projects or your forecast implement, okay, your manager, your clients begin to use your forecast model every week. You have to keep monitoring. Maybe not every week, like every month you see, okay, what's the 4 weeks forecast I get? Is that still stable or forecast error become increase? Then you have to raise the flag, right? Keep monitoring the forecast. Well, one thing is not mentioned here, we also spend a lot of time here, is to train your users. Well, I think that is because most likely they're talking about simple forecast you are using every day. But if you are not the only person use your forecast technical you build it here, you have to train your user, become your manager. Okay, how do you use my model? Even in Excel, how to click the button, we'll share the templates with you guys very soon, maybe next week. How to click the button, get the results, how to look at the result, how to explain the results, right? You have to train the customer if they are using your software. Okay, there's a lot of manual. So I spend a lot of time on writing the user manual, like 100 screenshots. Okay, click this button, next button, you get that. What you think about our clients all, they have higher degree, like master, but you still have to train them to use your technical. That's very important. Okay, that's all the steps. Just keep that in mind. Step 3, okay. It can cost a lot of time because otherwise, if you skip or spend a little time on step 3, finally you should come back. You have to come back. You find the forecast results can be very bad. Forecast accuracy. So when we talk about so it's a bad forecast or a good forecast, there must be some criteria when we say that, right? So allowance should be made for forecast error. Okay, we have to provide an indication of what extent the forecast might deviate from the value of the variable that's actually happened. Generally speaking, okay, what is your tolerance rates? Okay, so like you have to get 90% accuracy or only like 60% is enough for you. Definition for the forecast error is very straightforward. It's actual. So it's actual, like you forecast the temperature tomorrow. Okay, the forecast error is the actual temperature minus your forecast of the temperature. If the errors fall beyond the acceptable boundary, then you should take some corrective action. There are 3 popular forecast accuracy matrices. I will introduce these 3. When I introduce that, please think about these 3, and then I will ask you, in your opinion, which one you think make most sense, or you think most company should be most popular in industry. Let's see the first one. It's called MAD. Okay, mean average deviation. It's MAD. So it's really MAD, right? So it's a summation of forecast error, absolute value of error. So it's actual minus forecast, take the absolute value. Because it can be actual is bigger than forecast or actual less than forecast. But when we talk about the absolute value of error, it's the same, right? Divided by n. So this t, there are 2 parts of t, 2 explanations of t. So t can be the time period, right, it can be like 1, 2, 3 time period. If you want to say, okay, what is my forecast result for the past 3 weeks, comprehensively speaking, right, you should choose this all 3 weeks forecast and plug it into this formula to calculate MAD. But it can also be different products, A, B, C. Right? If we say, okay, this week's forecast, okay, we have forecast these 3 products. We want to see overall our forecast accuracy for these 3 products. Then T is products. Definitely you can combine them together. Okay, 3 products in 3 weeks. Well, that summation should be 9 items summed together. But in this class, we don't go to that 2 dimension. Either is by the horizon, right, time horizon, week 1, 2, 3, or different items, A, B, C. That's MAD. Next, we'll talk about MSE, mean square error. Okay, so in the MAD, when we calculate the forecast, is very straightforward. We calculate absolute value, right? We sum them together, divided by n, like 3 weeks. MSE will make it a little bit different. So we calculate the forecast error first. Instead of taking the absolute value of this forecast error, we take the square of this error. Right? For example, if your forecast actual is 10, forecast is 12, right? So in MAD, it's like just 2, right? Negative 2, and then you take the absolute value is 2. But in MSE, what's the value of the numerator? For this example, 2, 4, right? 2 square become 4, right? Another thing you have to pay attention is in the formula is n minus 1 is the denominator. It's not n. Well, one thing you should always remember that when you study statistics class, when we calculate standard deviation of sample, is also n minus 1 in your denominator. Maybe some of you still remember that. Yeah, but that's just remember that. Otherwise, if we want to explain that, we have to spend the whole class. Why degree of freedom? Why is n minus 1 not n? That's just remember that. Okay, it's also required for a business student to understand why is n minus 1. That's MSE. You can see the difference here, right? The difference here between MAD and MSE is that. So let's say you have 3 forecasts, right? Week 1, 2, 3, right? I say that. You have 3 forecasts. Well, the first 2 are pretty stable. They only deviate from 2 units of the actual value, but the third one is pretty bad. Deviates 10 units. That's pretty bad. When we see MAD, okay, since we don't take the square, so that's straightforward. When MAD for this example is 2 plus 2 plus 10 divided by how many? MAD?
3.
3. Very good. So it's 14 divided by 3, so it's 4.67. That's MAD. Well, if you see this result, we can see, okay, it's still, because of the third period products, right? Forecasting. It's not so good, but it seems still okay. Let's see MSE for this simple example. MSE, okay, 2 square plus 2 square plus 10 square divided by how many? What's 2? 3 minus 1. Good. Okay, that's 4 plus 4 plus 100. So it's 108 divided by 2 is 54. You see that? So that means if you have one period or some period or some product, their forecast is very bad. If you see MSE, it's so obvious because the results of MSE is very big. But on the other hand, in MAD, because they only take the absolute value, it's not so obvious, right? So think about why it's helpful. You think about usually you have hundreds of products or 100 time period you do that. It's really hard for you to look at each data entry, okay, each week, each product. What is the forecast error? Well, you always look at this number. Oh, if you look at MSE, oh, that must be some number pretty bad. Let's go deeper to look at that. But if you use MAD, well, probably maybe average speaking like 4 or 5 difference, but in fact, those average 4 or 5, there's one the forecast error is 10. So that's math can't tell you, or hard to tell you. The last one is called MAPE. MAPE is mean average percentage error. So it's MAPE. So MAPE is calculated differently than MAD or MNC. Instead of calculating the absolute value of error or square of forecast error, it first calculates the percentage of error. Right? So it's the forecast error divided by the actual. So you get a percentage. For example, here the forecast error is -2 or +2. Okay, then the percentage is 20%. Right? 20%. It's clear? Right? Because it's 2/10. Right? It's 20% is forecast error. So when we get the forecast error for every time period, right, times 100, we sum them together divided by n. That's the MAPE. This will give us a percentage. It tells us comprehensively speaking this 3 time period, what is the average percentage of our forecasting errors. That's MAPE. Clear? Easy to understand? Okay, now I have a challenging question. So those 3 methods of metrics are, all of them are popularly used by different companies, different organizations. Okay. Then in your opinion, which one you think, let's say the first scenario, for small company, like our bookstore, which method should be most appropriate? Like our bookstore. The first scenario. Anyone? Yeah, bookstore. Bookstore, they still do the forecasting, right? And they definitely measure the forecast accuracy. Then which one would you prefer? Let's know, like, this won't be. This is not the exam, no, anybody can have any opinion. Anybody want to talk about your thoughts? You are in the bookstore, you make the forecast, you want to measure your forecast accuracy, then which one most likely you like?
Say the first one.
First one, Stephen, you are right. Yeah. Speak out. Well, I can't say you are right, but I have the same page with you. Right? I can't say this because this is no science, right? It just depends on preference. So Stephen, okay, why you, if you are working in a small organization or like bookstore, why you prefer the first one, man?
Maybe because it's simple.
Yeah.
It says
Exactly.
weighs all errors evenly, so you want everything to be equal, I guess. All
Simple.
the data simple, yeah.
Simple. It's very important, right? If we manage a bookstore, we have a lot of things. Most likely, you bookstore can't afford just the person to just do the forecasting, right? Forecasting is one of the small, tiny responsibility for you, right? You definitely want to use a simple method. But also bookstore, most likely they don't have it. Like our books, I don't know, 100 book textbook, it can't be like 10,000, right? It's not a huge data set. And another thing is that we talk about bookstore, the products are very similar. Even you want to measure these 100 books forecast error, they're very similar. They measure by units, right? The same units of measurements, right? Books, how many books? And you think about it, it's really hard to believe, especially in UNC Pembroke, right? One book sell 1,000. No, we don't have this session, right? Even in the Maths 1070, or most of you, or English 1010, something like that, we still only have 6 or 7 sessions, as most like 200 students. That's it. Or even a very small session, this probably still will sell 10 textbooks. So they still have deviation, but deviation not so huge. So that's why math can be fits very well for the small company. Very good. What about large company? Like my previous clients, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, they have thousands, 10,000 different products. Then, which method do you think make more sense? Hard? Huh? MAPE? Very good. You guys are so smart. Why you guys the MAPE?
It's more complex.
It's more complex. well, okay. I don't have any comments on this, but this is not the real reason. Complex doesn't mean better, right? You think about it, okay, I definitely say I know a lot of complex models, right? That's my background. I graduated from math department. But when I enter business world, I realized one thing, okay, I can do a lot of math for you. Very complex derivatives, right? Integration, lots of proofs. But in business, Well, many people prefer simpler method. We can sacrifice a little bit of like accuracy, but we prefer a little bit simpler. So complex is good, but doesn't mean just complex is enough for this big company. Alan?
Works in percentages, so it's easier to get a better overall picture of mass data.
Very good, very good. Have you guys heard of Alan say? So basically, okay, if we look at thousands, 10,000 products, it's definitely impossible. You look at each data entry to see, okay, that's shampoo. Okay, last week forecast is pretty bad. That soap is pretty good. That soup, okay, Charles always misunderstanding soap and soup. Okay, so it's pretty good. Well, you don't have time, right? Even you are a full-time demand forecaster, you don't have time to look at these 10,000 items. Then you still want to have the overall picture of what is our product. Look at MAD or MSC. First look at MAD. If we have 10,000 items, we add them together, divided by 10,000, we get something. Let's say 100 is our MAD. We still have very little idea, okay, what's category, what's item performing good or bad. We only know, okay, average speaking is 100, but you think about another problem is that if you have very large sets of products, now we are not talking about time period, right? Products A, let's not talk about A, B, C, let's say Greek, alpha, beta, gamma, right? Okay, now we have these three products. So the first one is 10, 12. The second one is 100, 120. The third one is 10,000, 12,000. You can see from MAP, the exact same forecast error, 20%. Everybody clear here? If we talk about percentage of error, it's 20%, right? Every item. Well, that's normal for Procter & Gamble, P&G, right? They definitely have some product sales pretty low, but some product Walmart carry a lot, right? But if we calculate MAD, well, I don't know, MAD, let's do that together. Right? MAD, we can do that, but you will see the number doesn't tell you a lot. It's 2 plus 20 plus 2,000 divided by 3. So it's 2, okay, so it's 703, 4, something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway. So, can you tell anything about that? 734 MAD? You can't tell. Because most contribution for the MAD is the third one, gamma, right? That's item, right? Because it's 10,000 real sales. Your forecast is 12,000. But you give me 734. I have very little clue. Okay, why we get this 734 if the items deviation is so huge. But you give me 20%, okay, we know that, right? They shouldn't be deviated a lot. Even that, I don't care what is your sales volume. It's 10 or 10,000, but you should around 20%. Clear for you guys? This example clear? Well, you think about in bookstore, we don't expect such a huge deviation. But if you talk about big company, they have so many products, the sales volume are not in the same measurements. They're very different. That it doesn't make sense to add their forecast error together, because when you talk about forecast error 2 for products alpha versus forecast error 2,000 for product gamma, we're talking about the same accuracy, right? The same accuracy of these two products forecast. So it can't be reflected from MAD or even MSC. MAP is widely used. Clear? Question, comments? Everybody clear? Okay. So in summary, usually for small companies like your own business, choose the easy one. Well, it can be MAD or MSC. Okay, I find MSC is in a harder position because it's not so easy. But yeah, MAD or MSC. But we talk about 1,000 products, 10,000 products, lots of products, and products very different category, and from soap to soups, right? Then MAP is your friend. Definitely choose MAP. All right, that's my experience. Okay, now it's time for you guys to take out your pen or pencil and have some blank paper. We will have a lot of examples. I'll give you time in class to do the example. So now is the first example in this semester. So we have 5 time period. Period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why I give you the answer already? Okay, I hope nobody has the screenshot of this page. Okay. Why? I paste this like instructional version of PowerPoint, so that's why you see the answer. So you can't see the answer. Okay, no answer here. That's good. Okay. Okay, so that's your job. Nobody take the picture, right? Okay, so that's the example. So we have 5 time period. So actual, for example, period 1, the actual sales, actual demand is 107, but our forecast is 110. Similarly, period 2, our actual is 125, forecast 121. So you should create a similar table like this. It will be helpful for you to calculate MAD, MSE, and MAPE. So first calculate the forecast error, which is straightforward, actual minus forecast. And then calculate the absolute value of this error. You definitely know what that means, right? Just make the negative number become positive. And this column, you calculate the square of forecast error for each time period. The last one is the percentage. You get the forecast error, you divide by the actual value, you get the percentage. And then you figure out you get the summation of all 5 time periods. And you figure out, okay, the denominator is n minus 1, n. And finally, use the formula we have introduced. If you have not copied this formula, you should copy it now, okay, on this page. Use the formula here. We can get the result. I'll give you get a lot of time to do that. Yeah. Everybody gets the formula first? Finally, I can have some rest. So, well, let me know if you think, okay, it's hard to understand me or I speak too fast. It is very normal. For me, I understand this is one of my weaknesses, speak too fast. Well, trust me, even I speak Chinese, still some people don't understand. Right? So no matter if I speak English, you guys have hard time to understand. So always, okay, you can say, Charles, could you repeat that? Charles, please slow down a little bit, or you can come to my office, we can discuss. Another thing is that never hesitate to ask a question. Sometimes maybe I made some points you think is very important, but I just spent like 20 seconds on this point. Ask me to explain that. Even you know what I'm talking about. Explanation is another thing. Right? Never hesitate to give suggestions to your instructor. It's very important because after semester end, you can give me very bad evaluation. But it doesn't matter for you, right? You didn't learn too much, or you have hard time to understand me, to follow me. Too late, you can give me the worst evaluation you can give to me at the end of semester. But it's not good for me. It's also not good for you. The best strategy is, you find a problem, communicate with me. All right? Always helpful. Everybody gets the formula? Can we move on to the next page? Everybody? Anybody still need time? Okay. There's still some still need time. You can take a picture of this slide. There's no secrets on this slide. But I already hide the next one. Everybody? Can we move on? Everybody? Okay. Now, time. I will walk around to help you guys if you need. And now it's time to know you guys better. Rings?
Yes, Reese.
Reese. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric? Okay. Kayla? Erica.
Montreal.
Montreal? It's like the same as the city in Canada? Without A. Oh, without A. Okay. But pronunciation is very similar. What's your name?
Trinity.
Trinity. I should have remembered your name. Trinity. I know you. Don't worry about that. Melissa. Elisa. Yeah, forgive me because my memory is pretty bad, so I will ask you again and again. In the rest of, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I should remember everybody. Ari? Okay. It's hard. I already forgot that's Alan's name. Robert. Huh? Robert. Okay. So generally speaking, don't use a laptop in the class, except you has hard time to use paper. That's But generally speaking, you can see. Because we have this policy. No teaching class. But this class is fine. Next class. Michael. Michael? Easy to understand.
Kendall.
Kendall.
Yes, sir.
Kendal. Is that?
2 L's, yep.
Okay. 2 L.
Cameron.
Camry. Camry. How do you spell that?
Cameron.
Oh, Camry. Okay. You need to send me an email, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't find the classroom.
Kate.
Kate? Oh, that's easy. I like this name. What's your name?
Dylan.
Don? How do you spell it?
Dylan.
Oh,
D-Y.
Dylan. Oh, okay. Dylan.
D-Y-L-A-N. Yes, sir.
Okay, Dylan. But that's a famous singer's name, right?
I think so, yeah.
Michael.
Oh, Michael. Oh, we have 2 Michael.
Josh.
Josh? Okay. Is that Joshua? Is your full name?
Josh was Josh.
Yeah, easy. Huh? Quay. Oh, Quay? It's very Asian name. I'm just kidding. It's like one Quay, no something else, right?
Xavier.
Xavier. Oh, it's like a Hispanic name?
Yes.
Yeah. Xavier, right?
Yes. Right away with a Z.
Oh, okay.
Dion.
Yeah. Is that same as Celine Dion?
Yes. Jared.
I know that. I know that. You come to my office every smart to bother me. You got my peanut butter. Tyler. Okay. Another popular name in the United States.
Kyle.
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 Kyle. K-Y-L-E. Okay, please forgive me. I will do the same thing next week. I can get it.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Help. Got that? Next one is the absolute value forecast error. What is the absolute value forecast error? This one first. No idea? Daniel. So you have forecast error -3. The absolute value is take the absolute value of -3. That means positive. Clear? Do that. Kyle?
Okay, just working on it. I was trying to get on this for
Okay. Take your time. The first time. Time.
I have bad eyesight.
Sorry about that. You guys, please forgive me. Again. Right? Oh, you right? Oh, you guys.
Trying to remember this.
Oh, you can use your cell phone. Yeah. Well, if you don't have calculator, you are allowed to use a cell phone. We are doing the example. Don't just use Snapchat. Okay, it's really calculate function in the cell phone.
So the error.
You get it?
Alright, I'm getting it.
It's the absolute value.
You like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Some of it.
I was trying to.
Good. What's your name again? Well, don't have pressure. I should have the pressure. Alicia, right? No? I'm not kidding. I'm really. My memory is very bad.
Kendall.
Okay, I'm not asking. I'm just want to check your answer.
Oh, yeah, you got it. I will finish. I'm working on it.
Very good. Okay, very good, Mike.
Yeah.
Are you dividing by the period?
Yeah, definitely because
That's
now she's n. N is time period.
okay.
Yeah. So it's n equal to 5 here.
Okay, you square. Yeah, this is rule.
Henry? It's good.
So, N is the periods, right?
Yes. Good. N is time period. It's 5. But still, much easier to remember the first row students.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Like, am I adding all these up and putting them right?
Yes.
Total number of periods, there's 5. So N
It's
equals
easy,
5.
right? Do you do forecasting in Amazon?
Yes.
Forecast.
they make you plan around the
Uh-huh.
so they make you plan everything.
You can apply to my class.
Yeah.
That's just work. I can tell you still pretty tough. You want to schedule later. But work has it. But you still didn't give me answers.
I'm still working on it.
Okay, take your time.
But I actually did an improvement project
Uh-huh.
where I took a process and I
You was for a
changed it
second.
and I finished
Number one, the first
Amazon's a great company. You guys are probably doing well. That's
3 divided by 107.
Yeah, I'll know in about a week or two.
Okay, I was making sure I was doing that right.
you are applying the full-time job for them.
Well, they told me based on
Did
my
you take this?
internship.
Did you choose that about that?
Where you work to in Seattle or something site?
Student for Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. So it's like a warehouse center or?
Yeah, it's a fulfillment center. It's a bigger one. The big
I
one.
work for the one of the biggest one in Kentucky,
Oh,
like
yeah.
top 3. But I like Virginia. Kentucky is no one.
So boring.
So bored. Okay, most students are making good progress on this example. Well, what I can tell you, this is probably the simplest example in the rest of the semester. So, don't feel pressure about my class. Well, some students told me my class is the hardest class in school business. And I told my student, I'm so proud of this thing, the hardest class in school business. Because, well, the hard means it's useful. But I don't think it's the really hardest one. But,
That's it.
done?
And it's 5.
yeah, good job, Mike. But you need to change your screen. I also have some cracks in my screen. Okay. Okay, thanks, bro.
You do 13 divided by 4.
Almost, right?
That's the number of things you have. 565. And the rest.
Very good. Sure, you're almost done. Great, great. Do you have some questions?
That but it's 5, so
You can print this slide.
Okay.
Check please, already. Just, well, I generally speaking, I don't think you are checking any other website, but you know that it's kind of, especially some people check websites, it's kind of disturbing the labels. You got your PIN number already?
I'll be back to see this.
I still remember you come to my office in the fresh, very different. At least your wearing style is very different. Very sporty, but now it's very different. You see the change, UNCB changed your life.
Really making a difference.
It's really make it. I remember Gerard coming to my office the first day. Hi sir, that's. But now yeah, never look at me. Okay, let's do that together. I mean, okay, so let's do that. Okay, I will skip the arrow part. I will first jump to absolute value forecast arrow. Period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a volunteer to tell me what is the absolute value of this 5 time period. Anybody? Absolute value? Any volunteer? So easy. 3,
4,
4, 3, 2, 1. Good. What's about square of the arrow?
9,
9,
16,
16,
9,
9,
4,
4.
1.
Finally, let's say I won't write down the formula. Percentage. Anybody? 2 points.
wrong.
2 points what?
2.8,
2.8. Second?
3.2,
3.2. Third one?
2.6, 1,
2.6.
1.7
1.7.
and 0.9.
0.9, right? Okay, n equal to what? 5. N minus 1 for MSE equal to 4. N equal to 5 for MAVE. So we get math equal to what?
2.6.
You sum them together, you divide by 5. Summation is equal to what?
13.
13 divided by 5, 2.6. Good. So MSE summation, what is the result of this summation?
39.
39 divided by 4. Now pay attention. N minus 1 knows N, right? So it's 9.75. The last one, MAVE. What is the summation of the percentage error?
11.23.
11.2 divided by 5. So we get 2.4. Is that right? No. 11.2?
2.2.
Oh yeah. 2 point. Okay. 2.24. I can't imagine my math is so bad now. Okay. Anyway. Clear? Any question or comments on this? Example? Forecast accuracy? Everybody clear? Question, comments? No? Okay, then the end of today's class. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.